Hey, gorgeous. It's Bex. It's Tuesday, and it's time for another Tune Up Tuesday where I support you in tuning your heart to the frequency of love. And today I am super excited to share with you a key element in attracting conscious men. Oh my God, don't we want those conscious men? He knows his feelings. He knows how to articulate them. He's connected with spirit. Yeah. So, it's so interesting because I had a session with a client recently, and we had this, she comes up against this wall of like, she can't get what she can't have what she wants. It's a belief. And not only that, but she also, consistently attracts unavailable men and men who aren't forthright or open or communicative. Okay, costume change. It got really hot in here all of a sudden. Bam! Okay. So, as we're like pulling the thread on the sweater of this fear, this belief that she can't have what she wants. I mean, this is a long-standing belief for her. But there were things about the way that she's showing up, the way that she's writing her profile, the way that she's communicating with men, that like have me on alert. I hadn't really like put my finger on the pulse of it just yet, but like in our conversation yesterday, she had mentioned something about omitting some information or not telling the truth about something, and it wasn't that she was lying, but it wasn't that she was just being like full out honest. And I was, that for me was it, because here's the deal. What's happening, and maybe you resonate with this, is that there's an element of protection that we have, especially when we're in the company of a really delicious candidate who is like, oh my God, this is the first guy that I've been attracted to in a while, and I can't mess this up. And so there are parts of us that we exile and hide because we don't want to be found out. We don't want to scare him away because he'll find out what we look like with no makeup on. Or he'll find out that you failed the 6th grade and had to do it over again. That wasn't my client. That wasn't me. I'm just totally hypothetically like throwing it out there. Of like the things that we hide out of shame, And not that that's like first date fodder, okay? Just hear me on that. That's not the thing. Like, oh, by the way, I failed 6th grade. I had to take it again. No. Not that you got to be, but what I'm getting at is that we have certain things about ourselves that we hide and we protect others from learning about out of fear that they're going to run away, men especially. And the thing about it is that these fears that we have, of like what we look like without any clothes on or without any makeup on, or the fact that we got fired from a job when we were 22. That was me. I did get fired from a job. But actually, and I'll get to that in a second. But out of fear that we might be turning him off. Well, here's the thing. Those things that we are holding shame around and that we fear are going to turn him off are honestly inconsequential. I mean, 90% of them, 99% of them are inconsequential. Don't mean a lot to the man that we're interested in, especially if he's interested in you, right? Like, I mean, when I shared that I got fired from a job when I was 22 with my now husband, it opened up an incredibly beautiful dialogue about our work life and our work history and like our work ethics and values and what drove us to be who we are in our own careers and things like that. So it actually brought us closer together. Put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that. So these fears that we have that we're protecting others from finding out are inconsequential. And I will tell you, this is truth. The fact that the act of hiding and protecting is actually the thing that will turn men off. Okay? And even if like you haven't like said, oh, I'm hiding something, or men can sniff it out when you're not being forthright, when you're not being honest, when you're not being open and unapologetic about who you are. You know, and it comes off as sort of this performative thing and this like very polished perfectionist thing. So if you identify as a perfectionist, watch this video again and share with your perfectionist friends, my friend. I know, because I know. But I, you know, it's that act of not being open, that act of hiding and protecting and not being forthright is the actual thing that turns men off. Because they don't feel like they can get in. They don't feel like they actually get to know you. If you're hiding behind this perfect wall and everything about you is spot on, then they're not actually getting to know the real you. All right? And that's what that's what a conscious man is really looking for in building a long-lasting committed relationship with you. All right? So I've got two pointers that you can work on to move into this unapologetic position in your life. All right. Like I remember I have notes in my diary from like 7 years ago when I was calling Nick into my life and just like writing about just being no fucks given and just unapologetically myself. And I'm a hula hooper and Pilates teacher and I'm the hula hoop queen of New York City, just like owning it. And like owning that like I have a little bit more flesh on my body than some other ladies, or owning that I got fired from a job when I was 22, or just owning the parts of myself that in other circumstances I might feel shameful about. So that's the first step for you, is to just take a little little inner inventory of the things that you would feel horrified if a potential suitor found out about you. Or, you know, I mean, there's different levels. Okay, maybe it's not horrified, but maybe it's like the things that you feel would be just so embarrassing if he knew about you. Okay, just make a little list of those things. All right, because honestly, when we start to get them out of our head and on paper, maybe even talking with people about them, that comes next, it just starts to diffuse the energy around it. And it just starts to create, again, this outrageous relationship with yourself where you can come into that observer position and look in at what you're up to in your life and the story that makes up who you are. And it just starts to build more connection with yourself. And then the second step after you make that list is to take a risk in vulnerability, which is sharing your truth and sharing your fears. All right, so what does that mean? Geez, I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be like you take that list to your first date and be like, okay, these are all the things I'm ashamed about. Hang in here. No. But taking a risk in vulnerability by sharing your truth and sharing your fears. I'll give you another client example. One of my clients just met a fabulous guy. They've been dating for several weeks, and she's taking off for a trip abroad for 6 weeks this summer. And she was really nervous about telling this guy because she was afraid that it would scare him away, or maybe he wouldn't want to pursue her if she was going to be gone for so long. And, you know, so we dialogued about it, and we talked about like what she was really afraid of. And that was it, like of that he might not want to pursue knowing that she was going to be gone for so long. So the risk and vulnerability and sharing her truth and sharing her fear after several dates, I mean, it had been a couple of weeks, she shared with him, look, I really, really like you. And at the risk of scaring you away, I have something really important to tell you. I'm going to be away this summer for 6 weeks, and it would really, really, I would just really love it so much if we could stay connected while I'm gone and continue dating when I get back. So not only is she sharing her truth, hey, I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks, but she's also sharing her fear. I'm afraid of scaring you away. But like the way that she put it, at the risk of, such a key statement. So if you haven't done it already, write it down, because it's such a sweet buffer to introduce any conversation that you feel shameful, fearful, or apprehensive about having. I mean, my God, do I know this so firsthand. Difficult conversations, complex conversations has been a growth area in my own personal life. So I've been studying up on this because it's not something that's been, just gifted to me, or not something that I learned so easily. So speaking into your truth, what's really up for you, not only your fear, but also your feelings. Like, hey, I really like you, you know? And here's the deal. If the suitor can't handle what you've got, then he's not your guy. Because your guy is going to lean in and be like, oh gosh, no, I'm not going to run away. And I really like you too. And gosh, I know that there's a way that we can stay connected over the time that you're traveling. And how about this? I mean, your conscious man is actually going to be a problem solver, a solution-based man. And he's going to offer some ideas of how he sees you guys staying connected. Okay, so just an example. All right, so again, girlfriend, your shame, the things that you're hiding about yourself, the parts of you that you're exiling for the sake of a potential suitor are the very things, they're part of your greatness and they should not be withheld, okay? Again, you don't have to blab them all out on your first date, but they're things that are part of you and make up part of who you are. And your man is going to connect with those things. He's going to lean in and that was the last point that I wanted to make. Drop my notes. Last point was that, yeah, I mean, when you do open up to vulnerability, that's the piece that allows him in, that he sees the doorway, he sees the real you, and he sees his place in your life by being your protector, your caretaker, your rock, the man who's going to hold you when you feel scared or hold you when you feel ashamed. Okay? All right. So bring on the shame, bring on those icky pieces and bring them to light, girl, because they're part of your magnet and such a key force in attracting a conscious man into your life. I love you so much. If you have a question, a scenario, a topic that you would like me to cover on a Tune Up Tuesday, please drop me a comment in the link below, in the box below, send me a private message. And if you have a single friend who has just been beating her head up against the wall about attracting a conscious, lasting, loving relationship in her life, share this video with her. Tell her, hey, I've got this friend, Bex. She's changing my life. I know she can change your life too. All right? And I'll see you here again next Tuesday. I love you. Bye.